Just like I do say, wellness is a lifestyle. Are we together? It's what? A lifestyle. It is the accumulation of daily practices. The more you accumulate healthy daily practices, the more you shift towards health. Now, I want you to understand that health and illness are one and the same. Shocking, right? But manifesting in different poles. We call it the law of polarity. This means that, just for example, ice block and hot water, is it not the same? But manifesting in what? Different yes. Same thing happens when it comes to this wellness. So health and illness are one and what? The same, but manifesting in different poles. Now, when you accumulate daily practices, you tilt towards health daily. Are we following? In the health illness continuum, like a straight line, 0 is neutral. So when you accumulate daily healthy practices, you shift towards health. When you start violating health principles, you start shifting towards what? Illness. Are we together? So it should be in your capacity. You should intentionally always, you may not practice everything once, but every day try to ensure you add up 0.1%. In a year, you should have added up 32% playfully. So you don't jump into wellness. It's not a quantum leap. Are we together? You have to move gradually. It's not a one-time or one lifetime transformation. It is always in stages. And as you grow, you begin to wax stronger in wellness. Are we together? So wellness starts from where? The mind. Until you are conscious of your health, there is no way you're going to manifest what? Health. There's no way you manifest wellness. Are we together? So this brings me to what we want to talk about today. The dimensions of what? Health consciousness. Somebody say dimensions of health consciousness.
Dimensions of health consciousness.
Yes, these are the dimensions of health consciousness. Since we all know that health starts from the mind. Are we together? Are we following? So the first dimension of health consciousness is what we call the health self-consciousness. I think I discussed this some time ago. Now, the consciousness here, are we following? It means aesthesis. Are we together? Before we begin, all this that I want to talk about today is on a medical or health what? Context. It is not on a philosophical context. In philosophy or in religion, their meaning are quite different. You know, remember we have contextual meaning and what? Dictionary meaning. All right. Now, dimensions of health consciousness. So we have the health self-consciousness. Now, the Greek word for this consciousness means what? It's called aesthesis. It means sensory perception. By default, as a human, you just know. You know, you see petrol, you can't drink petrol now, isn't it? You just know this is poisonous to what? Your system. Yes. So that is health what? Self-consciousness. Every human can operate in this dimension, aesthesis. Now we have the second level, the health self what? Awareness. Now the Greek word for this awareness means synedesis. Somebody say synedesis. Yes. This one here, it's beyond knowing. It's beyond sensory perception. Are we together? It means to intentionally conceive consciousness. I hope this is not complex. To intentionally what? Conceive. You have to be deliberate. Remember, we are talking about health self what? Consciousness. To intentionally. So you intentionally create the pictures. Now, these are in stages. We are going down. Now, until you go deeper in the stage, you cannot manifest what? Wellness. Some persons who are in health self-consciousness, they just know. But because they are in this level, they don't do. If you follow, say I follow. Alright, so the third, we have the health self what? Alertness. Now, this alertness here, one of the Greek words of this alertness means Gregory. Somebody say Gregory. It means to be vigilant, to be watchful. Are we together? But in this context, this is not what it means. It means ethymotita. Are we together? Ethymotita. What it means is to be prepared. So it's called preparedness. So when, for let's say, sensory perception, you get here intentionally conceived consciousness. All right, so when you get here, now, when you get to this particular level, you are prepared to either act or react. So let's take, for example, something in your head is beginning to go wrong. Are we together? So you being in that state of preparedness, you know, if you're going for war, the first thing you have to do is what? To prepare. You start arranging bullets, carrying guns, make sure you position, you're getting prepared. But that doesn't mean you've acted. So he's not trying to watch, he's not trying to be vigilant, he's preparing. Are we following? Yes. Let's take, for example, you're having constipation. That is a signal something is about going wrong. So what do? One of the ways to go about it naturally is to what? Fast. So the act of you trying to, okay, by tomorrow now, this is when I'll fast for so that is the preparedness. From this period now, this is what I should be eating. That is what? Preparedness. So from that state, we go down to the other one. It's called the health self what? Monitoring. Somebody say health self monitoring. Yes. Now this health self monitoring is of 3 phases. The first phase is monitus. Somebody say monitus. Monitus. Yes. So it means warning. So before anything happens, your body first of all warns you, gives you a warning what? Signal. So nothing go wrong immediately. Before it goes wrong completely, it may have been signaling, but you are too deaf because you are operating on a health self what? Consciousness level. When you have deepened in the dimensions of health consciousness, you should have been alert. Do we understand this? Now that is the one of the phase, because they are in 3 phases. The phase, that's the first phase of health self what? Monitoring, which is what? Monitus. Now the other 2, I actually have to write them in English. That is how it is pronounced in the Greek. These are not their spellings. I don't know if you understand. The way I wrote them is how it's pronounced in the Greek. So it was a pure Greek language. Do we understand this? Okay. Now this one is called epivelebo. That's how it's pronounced in Greek. Are we together? Now it means to what? Observe. So when your body gives you the warning signals, the next thing you do is what? Watch. Observe. Where is this coming from? Now the third is called Tarakoluskus. Tarakoluskus. Are we together? Tarakoluskus. Now what this means what? To oversee. Are we following? So when your body gives you these warning signals and you observe, the next thing is to become what? An overseer. What's the function of an overseer? You take charge, isn't it? So when we say general overseer, you are the one in charge. Now to put this into more perspective, what this means as regards to health self-monitoring, it means the ability for you to first understand the warning signals, the curiosity to examine the effects of the warning signals, and the willingness to act as regards to modeling your actions of thought patterns. I repeat again, the ability for you to understand the warning signals of your body, the curiosity or eagerness to examine the effects of those warning signals, and the willingness as such modeling your thought pattern and actions. So if you operate in these dimensions, there is no way illness will come unaware. So I'm imploring every one of us to leave this level, go down, leave this level, start dipping down. Now one of the ways you can actually deepen is by repeating health self-awareness, repeating it daily. Remember I said accumulations of what? Daily practice. So always intentionally conceive that consciousness. You follow, I follow. So these are some of the dimensions of health consciousness. I hope we are learning.